allegiance to a party with an increasingly meaningless, worthless name or title. I believe in being a free thinker, a truly independent voice. And it's not that tough. You just kind of do what you feel is right. But there's a lot of my friends on the right-wing talk radio side of the building will love this story. Like, Clay Aiken had no idea. Clay Aiken never had any desire to be a public servant. He was just trying to get his reality show off the ground. You don't want to vote for someone that has a reality show as a backup plan to his run for Congress. And you're right. No, you don't. But there's a certain Alaskan half-term governor that bailed on public service to fame whore herself, a television show on an outdoor network that nobody ever really watches or cares about, try and whore her daughter out to as much reality programming as humanly possible, and fame whore books about the war on Christmas. My point is not to attack the right or the left in this particular instance, but let me just say this. F all y'all. Bunch of cheating, lying, don't care about anybody but yourself, fame-whoring idiots. All of you. The wild murder for hire charges against AC/DC drummer Phil Rudd have been dropped due to insufficient evidence. He's still facing charges for threatening to kill and possession of meth and marijuana. Even though he's 60 years old, Phil Rudd, the man responsible for one of the greatest drum intros of all time, one of the most simple drum intros of all time, but still had greatness in the simplicity of the drum intro in Back in Black. Nevertheless, he's leading an interesting life as his years advance. He's 60 years old, and he's getting more intriguing by the day because apparently he's quite the playboy. A source tells the Sydney Morning Herald that he'd been receiving threats recently due to the type of female company he's been keeping. He said, quote, the girls that he gets, working girls and that, their partners get pissed off. He tells them, nah, I'm not going to pay you. And then the partners come and say they want their money. The amount he spends on company is like someone's yearly wage. He's the Hugh Hefner of the town where he lives in New Zealand. Oh, and by the way, technically Hefner isn't in the business of hookers, so potato. Meanwhile, AC/DC were like, we've only become aware of Phil's arrest as the news was breaking. We have no further comment. Phil's absence will not affect our new album and upcoming tour. Yep. Released on bail after being arrested in a murder for hire plot. Apparently, he planned to blow up his victims with TNT. When the cops showed up, he was thunderstruck. But when he was in jail, he felt like he was on a highway to hell and realized he shouldn't have tried to have his dirty deeds done dirt cheap. There it is. And I officially hate myself. Oh, God. So, 37-year-old, and meth is a hell of a drug, 37-year-old Deborah Asher of London, Kentucky. London, Kentucky left her house last week wearing a shirt that said, I heart crystal meth. Maybe not the most discreet way to go through life when you do, in fact, heart crystal meth. She was arrested later on that day for attempted jury tampering and aggravated corporate espionage. Just kidding. She was arrested for possession. She was arrested for possession of crystal meth. What else would she have been arrested for? Wearing an I Heart Crystal Meth shirt. She wasn't arrested because her shirt tipped off the cops, though. It just so happens that she picked that shirt out on the day that the cops wrapped up an investigation into her crystal meth dealing, and they busted her. And like I said, probably could have had secondary charges of being in possession of criminal amounts of irony. She had 3.37 grams of crystal meth on her, and she had some digital scales. Oh, there's your intent to sell. She and a 57-year-old guy called Richard Rice were both charged with felony narcotics possession and trafficking. On the other side of illegal drugs, publicly, Alex Rodriguez has relentlessly denied using performance-enhancing drugs during his years with the New York Yankees. He even fought Major League Baseball for suspending him for the 2014 season in the aftermath of the whole PED scandal. Now there's reports that A-Rod admitted to using PEDs during a meeting with the Drug Enforcement Administration in January, and he wasn't talking about the steroids he previously copped to using back in the day. This is according to the Miami Herald. He told DEA investigators he had used banned substances between 2010 and 2012, including testosterone cream, testosterone gummies. You can get testosterone gummies, and HGH. Really? Gummies? And the guy who owned the biogenesis clinic supplied them to him. In exchange for his admission, A-Rod was given immunity from prosecution. Which, of course, if you're not keeping track, that makes A-Rod a humongous liar and a hypocrite. In 2009, he admitted to using roids and performance-enhancing drugs from 2001 to 2003 when he was playing for the Texas Rangers, and he said that was stupid and that was naive. He also said, "I'm very sorry and deeply regretful," and insisted that every single year he spent with the Yankees, he'd been clean. Even if he was clean when he said that 5 years ago, he apparently threw that all away less than a year later, if this DEA report is true. When A-Rod gets back to the game of Major League Baseball after having built a career around performance-enhancing drugs, after having lied in this investigation, after having lied to the Drug Enforcement Administration back in January, when he gets back in the game, his salary will be greater than the salary of every single Houston Astro combined. I think we learned a lesson here. And that lesson is, do steroids, kids. Totally pays off. Have yourself an awesome one. We'll be back tomorrow and do it all over again.
It's cool to turn the other cheek and give people the benefit of the doubt even when they don't deserve it. And sometimes you feel good about yourself for being the better person and doing that. Well, this is not one of those times.